Long-handled tools. Choose long-handled tools using the same criteria as for other tools. While you can get by with just a shovel and a garden fork, you'll find garden work to be easier if you own both a short-handled spade and a long-handled shovel, plus a garden rake for smoothing beds. A sharp, lightweight cultivating hoe is a worthwhile investment for weeding all but the smallest gardens. Hoes parade under a variety of confusing names, so go by the shape rather than the name. Many more variations are available in addition to those shown here. Sidebar before you buy. Choose the best quality long-handled tool you can afford, and heft a tool to be sure that it feels comfortable before purchasing it. Some of these tools come in two styles, either in the straight or shoulder-high handle or a waist-high handle which ends in a grip. Shoulder-high handles provide much better leverage for shoveling. The shorter handles are easier to maneuver, especially in small spaces. Standard waist-high handles measure 28 inches. Tall people should seek out harder to find 32-inch handles. The best handles are made of ash, with a tight, straight grain running the length of the handle, or of fiberglass. Sidebar Master Gardening Tip. Styles of grips. The grips on waist-high handles come in three forms: D-shaped, split YD, and T-shaped. All work well. Choose the grip that feels most comfortable for you. While good fiberglass is stronger than good wood, poor fiberglass is weaker than wood. Solid core fiberglass is the most expensive and practically unbreakable. Hickory is heavier and less flexible than ash. Choose it only for heavy-duty tools with short to medium-length handles, like mattocks or grub hoes. For a working part of the tool, forged or heat-treated, tempered steel is much stronger and more expensive than pressed metal. The lower the gauge of the steel, the thicker the metal. With shovels, 16 gauge is fine for anyone except landscape contractor. Avoid weaker 18 gauge shovels, though. Longer sockets are stronger, particularly if they're slightly longer in the front than the back. Shovel has a scooped blade for lifting soil, sand, gravel, manure. A rolled top edge makes the best footrest. Deeper bowls hold more, but make lifting harder. Spades. Flat blade for digging, turning soil, and also good for removing soil, for edging, dividing perennials. Border spades have slightly smaller blades and are therefore lighter. Transplanting and draining spades, also called poacher spades, have long, narrow blades. The garden spading fork usually have 4 flat or square tines. Square tines are stronger. Border forks are smaller and lighter, and pitchforks have longer, widely spaced tines good for hay but not for soil. These are used for turning or breaking up soil, working in amendments, turning under cover crops, and harvesting root crops. The broad fork, or U-bar, is used for breaking up hard pan and compacted soil without turning the soil over. The broad fork at the right is the most readily available. U-bars have U-shape handles and are less common. Mattocks. Weights vary. Choose one that you can swing easily. It's great for breaking up hard or stony ground and dense roots, and digging out stumps or rocks. The garden rake. Used for smoothing soil and mixing in amendments, spreading mulch. The lawn rake has long, fanned tines, good for raking leaves or grass clippings. Cultivator. Good for raking out shallow weeds, breaking up crusted soil, and working amendments into the surface soil. Lawn aerator. Opens small holes in the lawn, reducing compaction and thatch buildup. Core aerators, which remove small cylinders of soil, are better than spike aerators, which push spikes into the soil. For large lawns, you might want to rent a power model. Types of hoes. Some people think of hoes as multi-purpose tools, but they fall into two distinct categories depending on their design. The common large-bladed hoe is an excellent earth-moving tool, but it's more cumbersome for weeding than other styles. Hoes designed for weeding have smaller blades that are easier to slide under the soil and between closely spaced plants. They must be kept quite sharp to work efficiently. A wide variety of hoes have evolved over time to suit different working styles and positions. Only the most common types are described here. The standard garden hoe, American pattern hoe, used for digging, chopping, moving dirt, creating broad furrows or raised beds, and laying out rows. The grub hoe, I-hoe, medium-length handle, used for digging hard ground, working among dense roots, removing stumps or rocks. Swing it for extra leverage. The oscillating stirrup or action hoe. The blade on that is sharp along both edges, attached so it can move back and forth. Most models have detachable blades that are easy to replace. It's excellent for weeding in loose soil. Push it forward and then backward to slice off weeds in both directions. The collinear hoe, wide, shallow blade that is parallel to the ground when the handle is held at a hoeing angle. It's excellent for weeding. The small blade slices below the soil surface to slice off weeds. Buy models with detachable blades. The onion hoe or swan neck hoe. It's excellent for weeding. Small blade slices below the soil surface to slice off weeds. Blade sizes can range from 6 to 9 inches wide. The warren hoe, gooseneck hoe. It's easy to maneuver in small spaces, excellent for weeding or cultivating between plants, and also good for digging seed furrows, digging out weed clumps. The push hoe, good for slicing off weeds below the soil surface, and for edging beds. The blade cuts on the push stroke. Scuffle hoes cut on both push and pull stroke. And the swoe has a tilted, offset blade that cuts weeds without disturbing the mulch. Wheel hoe, used to weed or cultivate accurately between long rows or to work in powdered amendments. There are attachments for seeding, hilling, raking, and other tasks. Hints for success: using hand tools safely. Round up and store all your tools at the end of each garden session. You'll reduce the risk of tripping over them and running over smaller tools with the lawnmower. You'll also prolong tool life, as rain quickly causes rusting. If you must set aside a tool for a moment, lay it with the point or curved side facing down. This prevents the rude surprise of stepping on a tool and flipping it up into your face. Avoid driving a garden fork into the ground because it may fall over onto your garden plants. Replace handles when they break rather than trying to mend them. Replacement handles are available at hardware stores and garden centers. Prevent splinters by sanding any rough areas on wooden handles as soon as they appear.